much. Turning now to the state capitol, the second special legislative session here in the state may come to an end tomorrow. And lawmakers are rushing to not only enact punishments for their colleagues who left the state and halted business for a couple of weeks, as we have well covered. Now joining us now to catch us up on the work happening at the state capitol is KXAN's Capitol correspondent, Adam Schwager. Adam, welcome and thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's just get people prepared for the timing of everything. Where are we right now in this special session? Should it end tomorrow?
Right, because as you mentioned, it could end tomorrow. Technically, there is a 2-week window left in that 30-day window. So they could end any of these days, but their initial goals were to get it all done by Labor Day. Obviously, that was yesterday. We're past that point. But
right.
Last week on the Senate floor, as they were saying a farewell to State Senator Brian Birdwell, longtime state senator who's retiring after this session and can't be here today or tomorrow, Lieutenant Governor was talking as if tomorrow is the day that we're out. So a lot of people are anticipating that, yes, tomorrow could be the day where we're just wrapping up our special sessions unless the governor wants to add something new.
Okay, so we will wait with bated breath to see whether or not that actually comes to fruition. But let's talk about what's going on with a property tax measure that is one of the governor's priorities this special session. What would this measure do exactly, and how did things shake out today?
Yeah, so he put property tax relief on the special session call sheet, but didn't necessarily elaborate on exactly what he wanted. So the Texas Senate, they passed a bill which would take the voter-approved tax rate. Now what this means is right now it's at 3.5%. They want to lower it to 2.5%. So that means that a municipality who already has a tax rate built in, they can raise it up to 3.5% a year. As of now, they want to lower that to 2.5%, although the Senate's version didn't want to harm those smaller municipalities, so they made it so it has to be over 75,000 people. Now, the Texas House, when they got their hands on the bill, they really wanted to go aggressive. So they stripped out that part about 75,000. They opened it up to every tax entity in the state. There was a municipal utility district exemption that was carved out in the Senate. They said, nope, you're under this bill as well. They also had another amendment that lowered it from 0.25% to 0.1%, or sorry, 2.5% to 1%. So trying to cut it from 3.5% to just 1% each year, certainly not enough to even cover inflation. So you'd have to come back to the voters every time to try to get that rate. When they went to conference committee, everything that the House passed was stripped out. So today, the House took their stand and said, you know what? It was a 60 to 71 vote. It was a coalition of far-right Republicans and some Democrats who didn't want to see this go through. And they said, we're not going to accept this. We're sending it back to the Senate. Now, some of those conservatives are insistent that, hey, this gives people enough time, especially with 2 weeks theoretically in the session, to go back. But if we are truly on that 24 hours or so deadline, they have a really short window to try to fix this bill if they want to get any property tax relief passed in this special session. Lots
of drama with that one for sure. But additionally, we're seeing rule changes and even bills aimed at punishing lawmakers from breaking quorum in the future, like what we've seen during this special session. Where do those measures stand now?
Yeah, we had one that was wrapping up, although it kept getting delayed for various points of order. But right now there is a bill on the floor, if it has not passed already, that would prevent lawmakers from fundraising while they're on a quorum break. So right now, lawmakers, they can't fundraise during a regular session anyway, so this would only apply to special sessions, but they don't want lawmakers to be able to fund these quorum breaks because there are strict financial penalties as long as you're not fundraising in order to try to offset those penalties. And one amendment that was on the floor was to make it so that this also money can't go to these legislative caucuses, because if we remember, Beto O'Rourke's Powered by People, they were donating money to some of the legislative caucuses to try to help with that quorum break and help fundraise off of that quorum break.
Okay, so we'll keep following that strand as well. But one other item on the special sessions agenda is further regulations on THC products here in the state. You and I have spent quite a bit of time talking about that. So with time potentially running short, what kind of progress is happening?
It seems like dead silence. There's nothing on it. Our other Capitol correspondent, Dylan McKim, will be talking about this a little later on in our newscast tonight, but it just seems like similar to that property tax relief we saw, it's letting perfect be the enemy of good in terms of passing anything. Right now we had a standalone bill to try to make sure that minors cannot get sold this, anyone under 21 cannot get sold this. Right now we have no idea if even that bill is going to be able to get the support, right, because that THC ban was passed by the Senate got a hearing in the first special session in a House committee, hasn't gotten a hearing in the second special session in a House committee, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. So it could be something that comes back maybe in a future special session, if that's something the governor even wants to do. But as you remember, this special session, it was supposed to be about THC before the flooding happened,
right,
before we were talking about redistricting, and now it looks like we're just going to leave without doing anything on it.
All right. I guess maybe a consequence of a very packed agenda, too. We'll see. Well, Adam, thanks for following all this for us and giving us this update, and we will, of course, check back with you very soon.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right.